Imagine this. You're sailing across the Atlantic Ocean. The sky is calm. The sea glitters under the sunlight. Then suddenly, on the horizon, you spot a ship drifting silently. Its sails are torn. The wheel spins aimlessly in the wind. No one answers your calls. You climb aboard and what you see freezes your blood. Dinner is set on the table. Pipes are still half-smoked. But every single person has vanished. This isn't a movie. This isn't fiction. This is the real story of the Mary Celeste, the ghost ship that has haunted the seas for over 150 years. Welcome to Secrets in Time, where history's most chilling mysteries come alive. If you love exploring the world's strangest unsolved cases, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon, because today, we're setting sail into the most baffling maritime enigma of all time. The tale of a ship found completely abandoned, floating aimlessly in the Atlantic Ocean, with no signs of struggle, no distress signal, and no trace of the 10 souls who once called it home. This is the mystery of the ghost ship Mary Celeste. The story begins in New York Harbor on a cold November morning in 1872. The Mary Celeste was a sturdy, two-masted brigantine, built in Nova Scotia, Canada, and known for her strength and speed. Commanding her was Captain Benjamin Briggs, a man of unshakable discipline and deep faith. Sailing alongside him was his wife, Sarah Briggs, and their 2-year-old daughter, Sophia. Also on board were 7 experienced crew members, handpicked by the captain himself, loyal, skilled, and trustworthy. Their mission was simple: to sail from New York to Genoa, Italy, carrying 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol, a valuable and volatile cargo. On November 7, 1872, the Mary Celeste left the harbor, disappearing over the horizon, never to be seen alive again. A month later, on December 5, 1872, a British ship named Dei Grazia was sailing through the Atlantic. Captain David Morehouse, a close friend of Benjamin Briggs, spotted a vessel drifting roughly 400 miles east of the Azores Islands. The ship looked strangely unstable. Its sails were tattered. It seemed to be drifting with no one at the helm. When Morehouse sent a boarding party to investigate, the sailors were met with an eerie silence. There was no sign of struggle, no blood, no broken furniture, and no lifeboats on deck. The logbook entries were calm and normal. The last recorded position was from 9 days earlier. Personal belongings were untouched. Captain Briggs's cabin was neat and orderly. Even little Sophia's toys were still on her bed. But the crew, the captain, and his family were all gone. Investigators searched for explanations. There were 3.5 feet of water in the ship's hold. Not enough to sink it, but maybe enough to scare the crew into abandoning ship. The lifeboat was missing. Perhaps they thought the vessel was sinking and left in a hurry? But if that were true, why didn't they take their navigational instruments or food? Why was the cargo mostly intact except for 9 barrels that were mysteriously empty? Those barrels, it turned out, were made of red oak, unlike the others made of white oak. Red oak is porous. It breathes. Could the alcohol have leaked, filling the hold with dangerous fumes? If someone lit a pipe, the explosion could have been devastating or at least terrifying enough to make everyone flee. But no burn marks were ever found. Over the decades, hundreds of theories surfaced. Some said pirates attacked, but nothing was stolen. Others believed it was mutiny, but the crew was loyal and had no reason to revolt. Some whispered it was sea monsters or a curse, that the Mary Celeste was haunted from the start. A more scientific theory suggested alcohol vapor explosion, a chemical reaction that forced the crew to abandon ship temporarily, but their lifeboat might have drifted away, leaving them stranded in the vast Atlantic. And then there's the theory of rogue waves, massive walls of water that rise from nowhere, capable of swallowing lifeboats in seconds. No one knows for sure. The truth lies somewhere beneath the endless blue waves, forever hidden. The Mary Celeste was towed to Gibraltar, where a British court launched an official inquiry. But no one was ever blamed, no foul play proven, and the mystery only deepened. After being sold and resold, The Mary Celeste continued to sail for years, but every captain who commanded her met with misfortune or death. In 1885, the cursed ship was deliberately wrecked off Haiti's coast as part of an insurance fraud. But the fraud failed, and the ship that once carried 10 souls into oblivion was finally claimed by the sea. To this day, the disappearance of the Mary Celeste's crew remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in maritime history. A ship that sailed perfectly fine, but returned as a ghost. Maybe they escaped a fire that never started. Maybe they feared an explosion that never came. Or maybe something else was waiting in those deep waters. The truth may never surface, but the legend of the ghost ship Mary Celeste will drift through the oceans forever. This is Secrets in Time, where the past still whispers through the waves. If you enjoyed this journey into history's dark waters, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this mystery with others. Because somewhere out there, beneath the endless blue, the sea still keeps its secrets.